All right, cylinders are all lubed up. Moving on to the next thing. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put the head back on. I know I need to clean it up. I ran it one time and spark plug loose. Not for long, probably took 15 seconds, but that was long enough to get the head dirty and I never did clean it. And as always, it's something you should always do on these Polaris, is probably other manufacturers as well. These are not, I don't know what you call it. Basically, it's almost like these bolts go into a wet jacket. They go through your coolant system. You have to seal the head of your bolt. Okay? Otherwise, you run a high risk of leaking coolant around the bolt. It'll come right on up through here. What I use, not always, you can use anything, but I just so happen to have a bunch of this big ass thing of Yamabond, which I use for sealing cases and stuff like that. It's good stuff. There's many manufacturers, but I've used regular RTV for these bolts and it'll work. I've never had one leak ever in my life. But if you don't do it, they might not leak, but there's a way higher possibility that you will get some coolant coming around the bolt. So just put a little dab of something on there. Not a lot. I mean, like I said, it's just the smallest amount right on the head, just to make it seal on the surface. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Run them in, torque them down. I think I'm going to run these at about 22 to 24 foot-pounds. And you got to do it in correct order, whatever. But you guys can look through my older videos for that, because I've shown this stuff like 100 times. But yeah, don't forget, seal your bolts. Okay, head is good and torqued down. Perfect. Next, I'm going to pull this other carburetor, pull the carb boot adapters, and get those replaced. I guess while I'm at it, I might as well dig out another choke cable. Yeah. Progress. Alright guys, we have a classic do as I say, not as I do moment going on right now. I went ahead, pulled my carb boots off, checked them out, not real happy with them. I looked at all of my spare carb boots, every single one of them. They're all starting to crack. So like I said, do as I say, not as I do. This is not something you should do. I put some of that Yamabond case sealer on here. I spread the rubber, and then I packed it full, closed it, smoothed it out. They weren't ripped all the way through, but yeah, just doing this, it'll work for the moment being. These are no longer available from Polaris, and nowhere has the aftermarket ones in stock. So I'm going to let this sealant cure a little bit and go ahead, knock out some other stuff on the 700 while those do that. And we'll get those back on, I guess. That's what I got, working with what I got here. So I just can't believe, like literally, I checked about 10 different carb boots. Every single one was starting to crack. It's like, well, shit. I guess they are 20-something years old, so. Oh well. Never mind, scratch that. I just found a set there in good shape. I had stashed back here in my back corner where I keep a lot of little miscellaneous crap hidden, so yeah, got lucky there. Woo-hoo. I'm gonna throw these on there, and these are actually the right ones. The ones I had on there for like a 99 or something like that, because you can tell by that right there, that bolt, that's plugging what used to be an oil port into there, because the 99s were fed oil straight to the carb boot, where the 98s were fed into the fuel pump. So they had provision there, but it wasn't drilled out or tapped or nothing. And then when you went to the rack carbs, they eliminated this again and oiled directly to the carburetors. So perfect. Got some good carb boots. Hell yeah. Alright, with those back on, sorry about that, compressor, we'll kick off here in a second. But with those back on, now I'm back on my hunt. Ooh, not at the oil no more. For another oil pump that has 3 outlets. The one I was testing with has 4, so that would be for something with the rack carburetors. I figure I'll probably pull an oil pump off one of these motors here, and yeah. that'll pretty much be that. Throw them on there, prime them up, see if they're actually pumping oil, and off we go. Throw some pipes, manifold, put the recoil back on, see what happens, I guess. Fuck, I don't know. We're doing it though, on a budget, trying to spend no money. All I've bought so far is a base gasket and all 4 head gaskets, so I feel like we're doing pretty good. Progress. Alright, we got another oil pump with all the hoses hooked up. So you put a couple clamps on. I'm gonna go ahead, spin it up, and make sure it's pumping a decent amount of oil out of these lines, unlike the old pile of crap down there. So this theoretically should fix the issue. I might have to pop the bleeder right here and bleed the pump, but yeah, one step at a time, boys. One step at a time. Progress. Okay, so I've been digging around trying to get this oil pump primed and everything, trying to pump some oil through it. As you can see, I got progress. I'm gonna keep going, make sure all the lines are completely clear of air, and once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this oil pump on the motor. I fucked up. I got too aggressive, swapping hoses around, broke a nipple off the oil pump. That goes right there. So I guess we're gonna be swapping oil pumps again and bleeding it again. I love this. This is so fun. Okay, it's like the next day. So I had to take a break from this. But this is like number oil pump 3, I think. Yeah, the original failed. I broke the second one. Now we're on the third. I just finished priming it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my oil lines, just that one, and then the clip that goes here, and bolt it up. That part will be done. On to the next thing. Hopefully, thank God, I want to be done with the oil pump. All right, that's all buttoned up. Went ahead, got the exhaust manifold back on. Now before I put the carburetors back on, I'm gonna go ahead and replace my choke cables because I broke this one. Like, really bad. Luckily, I'm a hoarder of all things, and I believe, yeah, this has to be the correct one. So we're gonna go ahead and swap those on over, and then we're gonna throw the carbs and everything back on. Check my chain case oil, throw the exhaust back on, and it should be good to fire up pretty much. All right, after pulling the original choke cables off, come to find out the replacement I had is much shorter, so I gotta keep looking around for another one. I swear, every single step of the way, this sled has fought me. It's like it doesn't want to go back together. We'll get it though. Okay, I don't feel like pulling choke cable off a parts sled right now because it's freaking not fun working outside. So the shorter one will work. I just have to run it over the oil bottle and down rather than around the oil bottle and down. Well, fun fact, there you go. That's from a Gen 2, probably like a 99 or something. So if you got a little bit shorter choke cable, just run it over the oil tank. Progress. Oh boy, we are getting close now. Now this thing fired up here in about 10-15 minutes. Alright guys, so I think everything's buttoned up. I mean, the oil pump's primed, bolted on, recoil's bolted on, head's torqued, cylinders torqued, pistons, you know, circlip. Pray to God I put a circlip in this thing, right? Exhaust is on, belt's on, carbs, replaced the choke cable. However, I still need to put a little retainer plastic nut on it. I'm not sure where mine went, so I'll have to find one of those. But I think everything is done enough that we can test fire this thing. Probably gonna take a couple pulls, might not sure. I didn't prime the cylinders at all, but choke's on, kill switch on, fuel's on, everything feels good. I did set the oil pump rich, so on top of the little bit of premix I have, I know I know this oil pump's working, and I have it turned up like I'll pretty much always do. I guess here we go. I found the plug out. Tire sure. I need fuel or choke. It's idling a little high. Eyes burn. It's a little thick in here. Step outside. It's idling a little high, but it sounds good.
Two-stroke smoke, baby.
Well, it runs. I'm gonna adjust the cables, and I'm going to get some brake cleaner or something. I'm gonna spray between the recoil and the case apps, and also behind my clutch, just to make sure that I don't have a bad crank seal, which it shouldn't, but you never know. One good backfire can take out a crank seal, even though mine were brand new, but that's all it takes is one good backfire. It could deform, pop, warp crank seals, and no bueno from there. But anyways, I'm gonna let this smoke out. This thing runs, hopefully here pretty quick. I'll kind of get it dialed in a little bit, a little two-stroke magic, and get this thing out for a rip. Till next time.